Iron in the soul. What's up, YouTube? This is Iron in the Soul, back today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at TheKingsBez, as well as my website, theironinthesoul.com, where you can book a consultation or get my book. It will all be greatly appreciated. Let's do some work. Chosen ones. All chosen ones must pass the humiliation ritual. Let's talk about this today. We're not talking about humiliation rituals such as what we've studied and researched and heard about in the secret societies. And one of the reasons that they do that is that you have to understand that the secret societies, which are ran by Lucifer and demons, they always copy God. You have to understand that these spiritual beings are spiritual copycats. And so their goal is to duplicate and to try to recreate the order and the process of the Most High God. So you think about the Most High Elohim, he has rituals. There's a time for sacrifices. There has to be a level of spiritual activity, power, prayer, meditation, breaking curses. There's a lot that has to happen in the spirit realm to get the attention of and to get the favor of the Most High. And so what happens is with these secret societies is that they try to duplicate that with evil rituals. We're not talking about that today, which is why I say all that. We're talking about the correct humiliation ritual. You say, what do you mean by that? If you truly are chosen by God to do something special, if you are the spiritual wealth of society, that's what we are, chosen ones. We're the spiritual wealth of this world. And so when you are that, you will go through a season of humiliation. You will go through a number of years, this has been my experience, when, quite frankly, you're made to look stupid. I don't know how to say that, look like a fool. You will have fools and evil people who will look better than you for a period of time. And the purpose of this ritual, listen to this, chosen ones, is not just to embarrass you, it's not just to humiliate you. The purpose of this is to get all of those characteristics that are in them out of you. Let me say it one more time. The purpose, chosen one, chosen woman, chosen man, I'm talking to you, of your humiliation ritual is to get all that evil out of you. Because when you have these evil people in the world, if we're truthful and honest, those traits are in us too. Oh yeah, they are. You got those traits too. Of pride, jealousy, selfishness, hate, competition, comparisons. And so what God has to do is he has to take us through a number of tests when we are humiliated, embarrassed. Think about all the great Hebrews from the Old Testament. Job, great example. He went through a long humiliation process, losing his children, losing his wealth. He was made to look like a fool before everybody. So much so that even his own friends turned their back on him. King David, years of being in the wilderness, getting demoted, being humiliated before the entire nation. He was a national hero after he slew Goliath. And now he finds himself looking like a fugitive and a bum. Okay, this is the king, future king. So before he became a king, what God did was, I'm gonna take you through about 5 to 6 years of humiliation in the wilderness. Right? The wilderness always comes before the promised land. Let me put that out there for you again. The wilderness, sir, ma'am, will always precede the promised land. And the purpose of that is to test you, to humble you, to get all of that garbage out of you, out of me, out of us, that will hinder you from being the best you can be. So if you're going through that right now, in other words, you got stuff happening to you right now, this is what I know about being a chosen one. Stuff happens to you that doesn't make sense. Am I talking to you? Stuff happens to you that's just not fair. This is crazy. Right? And sometimes you go back, you think, man, am I just bugging? Am I losing my mind? This does not, if you're looking at it on paper, this just does not make sense. That's a sign. And sometimes it happens if we're fair, it's because we're making bad decisions. If we're going the wrong way, that's one thing. We're not talking about that. We're talking about when you're doing things right. Sometimes you're going to do things right. You're lining up all your T's, dotting all your I's. You're doing everything right, and you keep running into this invisible brick wall. Am I talking to you? It's making sense? That's you? praying, you're meditating, you're trying to do what's right sexually, you're working hard, you're reading, you're reflecting, you're trying to develop yourself. And you keep running into this brick wall that just won't go anywhere. Let me suggest that you may be going through a season of humiliation. Not to humiliate you, right? That's not like God is somehow getting this pleasure out of embarrassing you in front of everybody. But to really, in other words, let me put it to you this way. The greater the testing, the greater the blessing. The worse that your test is, and if you can pass this test, the greater your reward would be. What happened to Job? He got double everything he lost. Double children, double the money. He got his wives back. He got his riches back. He got his honor back, his power. So everything he lost during that humiliation ritual, he got it back. What happened to King David? He was over the entire land of Israel. He went from being in the wilderness to he over everything. So if you can be strong and pass this test, and your test may be, I don't know, 1 year, your test may be 2 years, your test may be 4 years, 5 years, I don't know. But I do know this much. If you are a chosen one, you're going through a series of tests. When stuff don't make sense, when your money is tight, let me talk to you now. When those doors start closing in your face. Guess what? Sometimes closed doors are a blessing in disguise. I told you this before, I'll say it again, guys, ladies. Every blessing that appears to be a blessing ain't a blessing. Every time somebody tries to just give you something, just try to push them off on you, that ain't always a blessing. Sometimes it's a snare to keep you from your real purpose. You see, you gotta realize that Lucifer and demons will always throw you a bone to keep you from being who you're supposed to be. You draw? So don't let that bone that some man throwing you, some woman throwing you, make you think that somehow you're in your purpose. Sometimes it's okay for a door to close in your face. Sometimes a closed door is closed because there is energy on the other side of the door that's going to bring you down. If you go into an environment, a workplace, a relationship, a home, a church, a business, and you're consistently being devalued, you're consistently being treated like you're some second-class citizen, that's an energy leak. And that brings down your spirit. If you go somewhere, you ever go to a place and you just feel good, you know, you got your chest out, and you're around about 10 minutes and you go from this to just, oh my gosh, right? You're down here and now you're depressed, you're kind of confused. That tells you the energy is that bad. Sometimes people's energy and environment, a job is that bad for you. And that's a sign, don't ignore that. That's sometimes God telling you to go somewhere else and to really be the best that you can be. So while you're going through the simulation ritual, let me talk to you. Stay strong. Don't get bitter. Get better. Because, and it's so cliche and easy to say that. It's easy to say that. It ain't easy to do. Let me tell you. The temptation for you, chosen one, I'm going to keep talking to you, when you're going through your test, is to get bitter. Now you're mad at everybody, you hate everybody, you're angry, you don't trust no one. You kind of like Patti LaBelle. It's just, I'm on my own. You know what I mean? On my own. I ain't got nobody, I can't trust anybody. It's just all me. You feel me? So don't let it make you bitter. You know, bitterness is a sign that you're not passing the test. So I want to caution you against it. I'm not preaching to you, but I want to caution you against that. Don't get bitter. And also, to add to that, don't turn into a hater. Don't get to a place now where you now hate everyone who's doing well. Don't be a hater. Your time coming. Let them shine. It's their time. Your time may be next year. Your time may be 5 years from now. Your time may be, I don't know. So if you truly are supposed to have something, you'll get there. But bitterness and hatred will keep you in that test longer than you should be there. So what am I saying? It's possible to be on a level too long. And for some of you, I'll say respectfully, as your YouTube big brother, some of you have been on a certain level for too long. Oh, I'm talking to you now. I'm going to look right in your eyes. Ladies, men, some of you have been on that level for too long. It's time to grow. It's time to develop. It's time to spread your wings and fly. You've been walking too long. It's time to start flying now. Okay? It's time to tap to your true potential. You're better than that. Let me talk to you. You're better than that. You know, you're keeping yourself in this low vibration relationship, this low vibration job, this low vibration environment, and you can't even be yourself. If ladies, men, you are constantly in an environment where you can't be yourself, that's a clear sign to move on. And I don't care if it's your own family. Me personally, I'm going to get a little personal for a second. I have had to end relationships with blood family. I got on red blood today, right? Red blood, right? Blood family. This war is real. You know, and I'm not just on YouTube just talking to y'all. This is real life. Sometimes you got to get rid of even blood and move on. Because sometimes your blood cousins, aunties, unc, brothers, sisters, mama, some cases, they're in your way. You know what I mean? And when you process, that's a tough pill to swallow. This is my family. I'm supposed to trust them forever. Right? That's what it's supposed to be. But how many know sometimes that's not what it actually is? So when you're on this journey, sometimes it's going to cause you to cut off some relationships with people you've known your whole life. And let me tell you from experience, that's hard to do. The best way, guys, I can give you how it made me feel personally, my experience, when I had to cut off this one particular family member, I won't even tell you who she is or he is. Doesn't matter. When I made the decision to do that, it felt like, this is the way I pictured it in my mind. It felt like someone took a knife and stabbed me in the chest. You say, "Dang, yeah, that hurt. It hurts." So what am I saying? Sometimes your growth is painful. When you got to cut somebody off that you actually love, that's hard. That means that you are dead serious about getting to this next level. So, you know, when that happens, man, you're in a new level of the battle. And this is sometimes what is necessary for you to go to the next level. Some of you are staying stuck because you can't let go of certain people. And you got that soul ties. You see, soul ties are not just sexual. Soul ties can be a relationship to a family member. It can be a relationship to a job, to an organization, to a church, to a company, to an environment, to a certain city. Some of you got soul tied to your city. You know what young boy say? It's a parade in my city. Yeah, it's a parade. I can't do that young boy dance. I'm sitting down right now. You know the one they got that on TikTok and IG every day. You know that dance he's doing with his coat on and the chains, right? It's a parade in my city. Let that city go. Some of you may need to leave your city and go to parade somewhere else. Huh? You hear me? You trying to grow. Some of you right now, I ain't saying do this tomorrow. I'm not saying be crazy, but you know, because some of you, I'm finna leave right now. No. Think it through. You know what I'm saying? Don't get extreme. But realistically speaking, some of you in the next 6 months to a year, it may be in your best interest to move. To get around the people that you need to be around to blossom the way you need to. Some people, I know, they don't grow till they move. Right? And that may be what you need to do. You need to get out of that city. Get from around the people you know since you was 5 years old. You're 25. You're 20. Get from around them. Okay? Go meet somebody else. Okay? You're a human. You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. Guess what? You will be okay. You'll be fine. If you can make it where you're at right now, guess what? You can make another state. I hate to say it. People everywhere. So if you're worried, if you're afraid of that, you'll be fine. You'll meet new people, make new connections, and give yourself a fighting chance at victory in life. Prosperity. Your blessing sometimes is your location. Let me talk to you. Big brother talk to you today. Kings of Bethel, Goofy and Affairs, Honest Soul to World Blow, all that. Your connection may be another state, another country. Some of you might need to move out this country. You know what I'm saying? Go to somewhere else, whatever that may be. You know what I mean? And so that is humbling. It's going to be difficult. It will be uncomfortable at times. At times it's going to feel awkward. Kind of like when you're playing baseball, play baseball as a little boy. You put on a new glove, it's awkward at first. You got to break it in. And so you got to be, some of you men and women, stop being afraid of that breaking in process. When you put on something new, it's going to be a little awkward at first. Deal with that transition. Okay, stop being afraid of transitions. Some of you fear that, so you stay with the familiar. And sometimes the familiar is familiar spirits. Let me talk to you. Sometimes the familiar is a demon. You hear me? That is there. I know the demon's mad now. That's there in your life, presenting himself, himself, as your connection. So some of you need to leave these familiar spirits. Leave these, I'm talking to you now, leave these familiar territories. Go to a new city. Go have a parade in another city. You know, it's a parade in my city. Yeah, go have a parade in another city. Your city ain't no one got a parade. Go, come on now. Go somewhere else. Move on. Stop being afraid of growth. Some of you, I'm talking to you now. You, sir, you, ma'am, I'm saying this on my chest. You're afraid of growth. Some of you fear that uncomfortable process of growth. Because one thing I know about a workout, muscle growth, it's like any growth. It's painful. Right? You lifting weights, you know what it is. It's painful. You're tearing the muscles. You're tearing muscles to build muscle. So there's your tearing process. There's a recovery process. Lifting weights is hard to do. It's not easy to pick up 200, 300, 400 pounds. You draw? But you do that for that end result. So you have to stop being afraid of growth. Let me talk to you, ma'am, sir, lady, man. To get where you want to go, it's going to be some growth pains. You're going to go through some stuff. You're going to lose some relationships. Let me talk to you now. Let me speak to your spirit. You're going to lose sometimes some money. You're going to sometimes lose some connections. Doors will be slammed right in your face. People will mock you, try to embarrass you, try to destroy whatever you got going on. And you're going to have to be strong enough to go through that season of change, right? Like the seasons change. You have fall, summer, spring, winter. Seasons change. So you can't be afraid of that season change. Some of you, you're dressed for winter in the summer. It's summertime now. I got on a tank top, right? I would be ridiculous to wear this outside in the middle of February. Honest soul being bed with the flu. Right? This is not appropriate for that season. You follow me? So some of the things you're doing right now, it's not appropriate for the season of your life. I'm talking to you now. That man is not appropriate for the season of your life. That woman, sir, is not appropriate for the season of your life. That obsession you have with online corn, you know I'm going to go there real quick. That's not appropriate for the season of your life. You're 25, 30 years old, and you're not reading every day. That's not appropriate for the season of your life. You drinking pop every day, not drinking water. That's not appropriate for the season of your life. You cannot pray and meditate for 10, 15 minutes a day, and you are 20, 25, 30, 35 years old. Sir, ma'am, that is not appropriate for this season of your life. If you're still trying to get the approval of everyone, that is not appropriate for this time of your life. You got to outgrow that. I'm going to talk to you. You a man now. You a man, right? I say now, so you are a grown man. You are a grown woman. And some stuff you're doing now, I'll be honest, that's just simply not appropriate at this point for your life. That was okay a few years ago. You should have outgrown that by now. And you know whatever that is for you. I can't speak for you personally, but I'm trying to speak to your spirit. You know what that is. And I share this out of love. You see, the ancient Hebrew scripture says it this way: faithful are the wounds of a friend. So a true friend, your internet friend, is going to tell you the truth. And it may sting a little bit, but that sting is meant to heal you. Kind of like when you get a cut, right? This is a perfect analogy. I was cutting grass earlier today, my house. I'm in the basement of my home right now. And I cut my finger. So I had to come in, I had to do what we do. What? You get peroxide to get rid of keep it from getting infected, right? That peroxide stings. But if I don't do that, if I did do that at that moment and let that just fester, let's say some dirt get in my hand and it gets affected, it's going to hurt even more later. What am I saying? That's the same exact thing with your life. Some of you right now got some spiritual cuts on you. And if you don't heal those spiritual cuts, I'm talking to you now, it's going to hurt even worse 6 months from now. 1 year from now. So what am I saying to you? Ladies, gentlemen, there are some parts of your life that you can no longer just ignore. This is tough. You gotta deal with it. You have to address it if you want to go where you want to go. And sometimes addressing it is going to be humbling. That will be a part of this humiliation ritual process that we all have to go through. And so I trust that this video will be very informative for you. I think this is an appropriate video for a Saturday before Father's Day, right? To give you just that jolt of wisdom, to encourage you to have a good summer. I think this is a good message before the official first day of summer, right? Going through the next 4 or 5 months, a lot of people get themselves in trouble in summertime. Okay, summertime can get wild, can get crazy. Soul ties get formed, connections that are sometimes good, sometimes bad. And so this is a time now to not get loose with your life. You know, some of you, there's a tendency to lose your disciplines. that you have been practicing for the first 6 months of this year, right? We're 6 months into 2023. Is that correct? The 30th would be exactly 6 months, right? Don't lose the disciplines you've been practicing all year over the next 3-4 months. Stay humble, and from that, you will be exalted. This is your big brother, Iron the Soul. I thank you for listening to my video. God bless. Peace.